Firewatch. Wake up. You got Firewatch.
This is Pacho. Do you read me?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. Say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some. Hoorah! What's going on, everybody? Another show is here. Baby Friday is upon us, or Friday night's Eve. God damn, it's almost the weekend. Hey, today we got a really good show today, full of good information. Well, before I get caught up in all the show hubba bubba, why don't we just get all the pleasantries out of the way? This show is brought to you by Primerica. Hey, when was the last time that you checked who your beneficiaries and who, in the event of an untimely event, who is going to get what, and is your family protected? Well, if you don't have any answers for those questions and you're not sure, give the folks of Primerica a call. They'll get you all taken care of. They'll give you education and give you choices as to how to best protect your family in the event of untimely event, something tragic, and you pass. You, the service member, is the one who passes, and then they're the ones behind, basically trying to figure out things, how to move forward, and with all the debt and all the things that come with after that main breadwinner passes on. So it's all on the show description right there. Give them a call. Go to the website, plan a call, and hey, 30 minutes of your time will pay you big dividends. Okay. Also, this show is brought to you by the VA, and we're sponsored by them. So here's an awesome message from Mike Richmond.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Do you want easy access to VA Online, as well as other government websites? Then login.gov is the way to go. Login.gov is a U.S. government service that provides seamless access to government websites. By creating a login.gov account, you can use the same email and password to sign into va.gov, My Healthy Vet, VA DoD e-benefits, and the VA Health and Benefits mobile app, among other VA services. Login.gov also allows you to securely sign in to USA Jobs and TSA PreCheck, and to apply for SBA small business loans and disaster assistance. One login, many resources. To create a login.gov account, simply go to va.gov and click sign in.
Hey, as a matter of fact, when you log into va.gov and you go on the search engine like we're going to do today, and get familiar, speaking of, through our folks of Primerica, just get familiarized with the benefits in the event of a timely death, which we'll talk about today more on the show. So at the end of the day, you got to do your due diligence and make sure that you educate yourself, as well as share that communication with your family. So also, this show is brought to you by the Great American Constitution. This show wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the rights and the great things that the Constitution brings to us. So if you are all about freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, and anything else, well, this is your show. Like, subscribe, and follow. If not, swipe left. Go ahead and check out something else from the folks of SitchRadio.com, which shout out to Brian Colburn and everybody else on the back, pushing all the buttons, making this show happen. Because at the end of the day, we wouldn't be here without it. So again, make sure you check out their website at SitchRadio.com, and then perhaps one day you could be a fellow podcast. Okay, I think that's pretty much it, and that's all the pleasantries out of the way. So today, I'm sure everybody's heard. Those of you who fellow Marines, as well as if you follow our Facebook page, Alfred M. Gray, General Gray, the 29th Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, passed away yesterday. He was 95 years old. So before we get started, what I like to do, I like to hold a moment of silence and play taps for a fellow Marine who is now at the pearly gates, guarding the, manning the post. So if you allow me for a little bit, attention to orders. At ease. By the way, that was taps being played by the bugle corps of the commandant's own. So we just want to basically extend our thoughts and prayers to General Gray's family. When a fellow veteran or fellow service member passes, or when anybody passes, unfortunately, I've had my share of losses, both as you know family members as well as fellow service members. It's not an easy time. It's not an easy time for anybody, and more than often, the family finds themselves scrambling as to what to do, uh, and how to cope and move on with all the things they've got going on. I know when I got that call, when one of my family members, when my father passed away, as a matter of fact, I was on active duty, and I was a recruiter, and you know I had like an out of body experience, and after I came back to reality, it's like, oh man, what are we gonna do? Do depending on where they're located, do you have to travel, so on and so forth. But I guess tying it to the show, and as veterans, as I talk to a lot of people. One, because now as a registered representative, and through Primerica and everything, we help families and such. Now, this is not a by no means this is not a sales pitch whatsoever. But today is we're going to talk about some of the things that come when a service member passes. Because about 3 months ago, as a matter of fact, I was talking to a family, and they had the father, uh, died unexpectedly, a veteran, and him and the mother weren't together. However, it got her thinking, hey, my kid's father passed away unexpectedly. We hadn't heard from him in a few days. Now we just don't know what to do with what's going on with the family. Can you help us? So and I said yes. So if I would highly recommend that one, you share this show with your family, because I'm going to share my screen here in just a second. But also, nonetheless, keep that communication lines open, and have. I got a great idea, as a matter of fact, from my friend Kristen, who's a friend from high school, and I mean, this girl is super, super organized. Not that I'm saying that I'm unorganized. However, she said, "Hey, I got a book, and it's called Just in Case, and my family knows that this is the book. If something happens to me, this is where they go, because they own a multi-million-dollar business, and she's the accountant. She is everything. So she is the brains on the admin side, so everything is there, the accounts, the this, the that, where to go for whatever. So it got me thinking that one, I'm already I started creating that book. Hey, in the event of what something happens, here's all the bank accounts, here's the numbers, here's the access to them, here's because some of us have online banking apps. Here's how to access. Make sure also that you designate beneficiaries on everything, and on your phone, on your iPhone, as a matter of fact, there on the settings, you can go in there and basically designate a person who can access your phone, who can contact Apple in order to get access to your phone. Because if I don't know if you remember a few years back, uh, when I think it had something to do with a shooting or whatever, and I think it was he was from the Navy. This happened in California, and the guy went on a shooting rampage, whatever, and that they were trying to access his phone, and basically they took Apple all the way to, I believe, to the Supreme Court to access it. And basically, it was deemed unconstitutional to access that guy's phone. So you got to designate somebody to grant access. My wife has access to, in the event that something happens, she's got granted access, and vice versa. Yep, that's right, Daniel. Thank you. The San Bernardino shooting incident, and with that being said, that grant them access, I believe you could do it too with Android. So this way, they have access to those important apps, whatever the case may be. So they can all, because in a day and age where we're all connected to these things, it's just another way that you don't want to leave your family hanging. So after talking to his family, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll be more than glad to help. Let me get you to the right resources. And by the way, this not only happened with this family, which I didn't know. I did have a friend, a fellow coworker, when I first retired. The guy was, he was my mentor in the safety industry when I first got into it, and he died unexpectedly. It wasn't expected, and basically, he didn't have no beneficiaries, no nothing. His family struggled for quite a while, and I just want to say this, and I'm very passionate about this. Even though we did start a GoFundMe should never be something that be used as a form, some type of insurance and helping people. You got to do your due diligence. So I'm going to share my screen. So in the event that something was to happen to you, one, we're gonna go ahead and, first of all, let me share my screen. You're going to go to the VA website. So I hope everybody can see that. You're going to go to the VA website, and basically through va.gov, you can log in, and on the search engine, you said reporting a veteran's death. So this right here will give you all, you need to, it will give you the step-by-steps of how to report their death. And you need to do it, due diligence. You'll always hear me say during the show, hey, due diligence. In other words, hey, you got to, I get it that you're trying to, it's very dramatic. It's very traumatic. And, you're trying to deal with a lot of things. Nonetheless, these are benefits that you're going to have, not only for the veteran after they pass on, and we'll get to the next screen. However, this also is for the family. So you want to obviously provide as much information as you can, with the name, social security number, date of birth, date of death, branch of service. If they're a little bit older, moving forward, we used to use a social security number as your VA claim number. I think that's changed over the years, so you actually get a number, just like the new military ID cards. They no longer put the SSNs on there, but nonetheless, if you go in here, it'll tell you how to contact you in person. You go to VA office by mail. I don't know who does mail anymore. Nonetheless, you can still go in there. So that's one aspect. And then on the next screen that I'm going to go on right here, I will post this. By the way, I will post these links also after the show. I'll throw them on the Facebook page. Now I'm going to go ahead and share the. Like Daniel said, hey, that's right. You gotta. Oh, really? To contact me? Well, that's true. I have helped Daniel with some other products and such, and more than glad to do it. So I'm going to share my next. So, as I mentioned before, I do help veterans in different aspects as well. And I talked when I was talking to one veteran on basically preparing in case something happens. Said, well, hey, my VA, the VA is going to cover me for my burial. Well, I said, well, let me do a little bit of more research. And as you can see, you have to be eligible for the VA to help for a veteran's funeral cost, like you see right here on the screen. Okay. Basically, one of these describes your connection to the veteran. So you got to be, married to you're the veteran's surviving spouse, you're the surviving partner, and yes, they do, like it says right here, they do recognize same-sex marriages as well. So, or your surviving child, or a parent of the veteran and such, must not have received a discernible discharge, or one of these circumstances. So, again, there is a criteria. It's not like you automatically are gonna qualify for it, which I hope you do. Which that would be amazing. So you could get burial amounts for certain individuals, or you cannot for an active duty. Obviously, an active duty is a little bit different. Serving as a member of Congress, because that is also, they also have their own burial benefits, or a federal prison sentence. I mean, that right there says it all, because you no longer, when you're serving a sentence, you pretty much, if you were a veteran, all those benefits stop, because now you're part of the federal prison system. Okay, and so it tells you right here, there, what kind of benefits can you get? A burial allowance for funeral costs, and I'll show you those in just a second. Plot or internet allowance, transportation reimbursement for the cost of transporting the remains of that veteran to the resting place. So, and then we provide burial benefits for certain types of burials, and or burial at sea and such. So, when I was talking to this veteran, they were under the impression that that was going to be all paid for, so on and so forth. But let me just say, so this right here talks about how to file for the claim and the burial cost. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down. So, but I want you to really pay attention to this, because it says burial allowance amounts for service-connected death. Again, it's not that, hey, hominis dominus, you're going to get these things automatically. It's two. So if the veteran passed on or after September, 9/11, you're only going to get $2,000. That's the max. Before that, and if they passed away years back, which, I mean, it's only $1,500. Okay. If the veteran is buried in a VA's national cemetery, we may pay you back for some or all the cost of moving the veteran's remains. Okay. So, I mean, that's good. However, pay attention. What about if it was non-service connected? Well, you're only going to get, again, after October 1 of 2023, it's only $948 and $948 for a plot. So the burial allowance is $148 and $948 for the plot. Okay, and the numbers obviously get smaller and smaller with certain dates. Remember, it said also you get amounts. Here's some other burial amounts for non-service connected, which is pretty much the same. Okay, and then obviously for the headstone, it's only $231. All right, so it's all on the VA.gov website. I'm going to go ahead and post that as well. So now that you reported the veteran. And everything, what else should you do? Or you can do these steps backwards. Now you gotta, if they're a retiree, now you gotta contact DFAS, or contact DFAS, then the VA. So to contact DFAS, I'm gonna go ahead and share that screen most tick for you right here. You're gonna go ahead and contact DFAS, reporting excuse me, you're gonna report that veteran's death. And then just the process is somewhat similar as the VA. It is 24/7. You can also go, ask DFAS, and they'll walk you through a process. But obviously, you're gonna, before using the tool, you're gonna need the Social Security number, when they passed away, causes, marital status, and any other additional information. Okay, and again, you could call their call center. Or go on their website and everything. So after you report their death to DFAS, obviously, you're going to get certain a condolence letter, whatever else. Now, here's the thing, that so let's talk about Survivor Benefit Program, SBP. If the rate some type of and in addition to that, before we get into SBP, there's obviously a death arrears or arrears of pay. That is when they're going to get their last paycheck. For the family members are going to get that last paycheck from the retirees, and basically it's their final pay. So, which leads me to the next step is if the retiree enrolled in the survivor benefit plan, you're also they'll also mail a letter to the beneficiaries with the following documents. Basically, you're going to get the SBP application, which is DD 2656-7, and it's basically it's an annuity survivor benefit verification form. So you're going to go and you go through here, and it tells you the information as to in regards to the SB survivor benefit plan. So what is the SBP? Let me explain that to you as well as I stop sharing screen. So the survivor benefit plan, as upon you retiring, you're gonna get or right as you get doing all your paperwork to retire from the military, they're gonna offer you the SVP plan. Hey, do you want to enroll in the survivor benefit program? And knowing now what I didn't know then, because again, and I'm opening another. By the way, everybody, I guess I should just let the cat out of the bag. I'm working on another channel. It's going instead of the field op, where here we just talk about anything and everything. We just kind of BS. I'm opening a YouTube channel called The Head Shed, basically, or the company office. And over there, we're going to be expanding on and it's a little bit more refined and a little bit more serious channel where we talk about admin stuff in regards to the military. So survivor benefit plan is one of the things that hey, what is the SBP? Oh, it's this, because when I asked that person, they really couldn't explain to me. And so let me explain to you right quick what it is. The SBP is an annuity, and an annuity is just a contract in the insurance world. And an annuity is a contract between a person and an insurance company saying that, hey, I'm going to put this much money in this account, and as it grows, in the event of for a couple of years, once I pass away, and if I'm in that time period, my family will have some type of income after I pass on. So an annuity is not for you; it's for the family. So let me just share right quick. And this is the last page in regards to what is an basically, as it says right here, survivor benefit plan allows the retiree make sure that their family has his or her family has a lifetime payment, which is basically it's a contract, okay, and that's all it is. And this is all. You can find this information on the DFAS website as well. So I highly recommend that you participate in the program from the beginning, okay? If you decide not to participate, you're going to have to sign that paper. And if you're married, your wife or your spouse will have to sign that paper as well, saying that, hey, I don't want this, right? So by doing so, you're excluding yourself of of this benefit. Okay, is it a good buy? Is this a good buy or something good to purchase? Yes, it is. I will say that this product right here, what happens is that you put into the survivor benefit plan. I'm not talking regular annuities. The survivor benefit plan is they'll take some monies out from your retirement that you're going to get from DFAS. They automatically will take that out, and then the government is going to put some in it. Okay, depending on how much you're going to put in or the max amount. Then upon you passing, your family will get 55 or 75. It all depends. It's all on the website, on the VA website. I mean, on the DFAS website. I'll post this information. So they'll at least have a large portion of your retired pay for the rest of life. So hopefully you put in there I believe it's 10 years, the initial time frame, and the more you keep adding, the better. So because upon retiring, you deny or you don't put into it. Guess what? You move on. You and your wife go your separate ways. You divorce. Your next spouse now is not covered. So and you cannot reapply for it. So you pretty much if you get a divorce while you're in it, now you can once you divorce, you submit your paperwork to TFAS. Trust me, I did this. And saying, hey, I'm no longer married with this person, so they'll pause that service, and you can actually name your kids if you want as your beneficiaries. And then once you get married again, you could put your new baby mama, your new spouse, you can name them on the survivor benefit program. Okay. So now I'm going to give you the chief warrant officer, or when I was a staff sergeant, advice. For those of you who just came into the service, you need to be careful who you name as your beneficiaries. We used to see this. Dan and I were both officers, warrant officers in the Marine Corps, and this is what we call a PFC drama story that we saw time and time again. Something would happen to that service member, and they named their girlfriend, their boyfriend, as their beneficiary. Now, that person's parents or whatever is not going to get that money. So make sure if you're in the service right now, stay up to date on your beneficiaries. And that's why you go to S1 and name it. And I highly recommend that unless you're married to that individual, don't name your girlfriend's boyfriends and whatever. And somebody you met at the Purple Church in Oceanside as one of your beneficiaries. Don't be irresponsible. So give that money to your parents or somebody else behind. Okay. And, when it comes to annuities, and I'm just going to read right here, just something so this is from the licensing manual in regards to insurance products and whatever else. This is the type of training that we do. But so an annuity is generally a contract between an individual and a life insurance company, usually purchased for retirement income. An investor, basically the annuitant, that's the person who's paying into. They pay premium or lump sum on periodic payments. So basically, you're hoping that this money's is going to grow. Now, there's only two types of annuities. There's one; it's a fixed annuity and a variable annuity. A variable annuity, that individual who sells you that product has to have some type of securities license, a state license, because it's technically a security where it tracks the market, and it's better for inflation purpose. It tracks better with inflation because a dollar now is going to be less worth years from now. Okay, so but nonetheless, so that's that. So you want to put into the SBP program and utilize it because again, it's a small increment. That monies that you're not going to see. And in addition to that, have some type of other product. Yes, you could use VGLI, Veterans Group Life Insurance. However, VGLI, the payments keep going up. The payments your premiums that you pay a month, they go up every couple of years. And then by the time you're in your late 50s and 60s, it grows substantially. And by the way, you only capped at $400,000. Now you may think that that's worth a lot, but I'm here to tell you that if you have debt, like you want your family to pay off the house, you got kids that need to go to college and whatever else, you want to have a product that's going to help your family along the way after you pass on. Does that make? I hope that makes sense. Because once you're gone, you're gone. I mean, that's it, right? So it's those of us who stay behind that have to deal with the loss. We're sad, if the bills, anything and everything. And I can tell you from personal experience, my brother who's been on the show before, we have the same mom, but dad passed away unexpectedly, and he was the sole. I mean, it just that, and the guy sold insurance. That was a crazy thing, is that it turned the world upside down, and a lot of the things were named under his investments and such, that the family just didn't know what to do, and it took a while for them to, get back on their feet. So you want to do your due diligence, folks, and get somewhat organized. have a will and power of attorney. Yes, I get it that if you live near a base, you got all these perks, but nonetheless, you're also limited. So you want to be, you want to have all that stuff. If you have a trust, I know Dan, he's not only is Dan a fan of the show, Dan is, he's an investor and very, very well savvy. Trust is another thing, and another thing that you can basically really organize your stuff, and it avoids probate. In other words, that once the person passes on, even if you have a will, it's going to go, the states are going to want to put their grubby paws all over your money and whatever you leave behind. Yes, your death is taxable and you're not going to avoid it. The only way you can is having a trust and putting all that stuff in a trust, and it avoids probate. If you give if you will something to somebody, they're going to get taxed on it. So there's a lot of things that we can talk about in the head shed, as well, with the help of Dan, who's becoming a really good expert at doing all these things. But again, you really wanna have folks, you really wanna get your stuff locked in and organized, because as I mentioned a couple of times already, it's those of us who stay behind that have to deal with the grief and everything else, and trying to figure out how to move on and gather all these documents. So you want to leave those names and people named in your bank accounts, and in your, even if you have cryptocurrency. I know for those of you who are fans of cryptocurrency, go on all Coinbase, Binance, whatever, name your beneficiaries, so that way these folks have access to all that stuff. God forbid some shit happens, and you leave them hanging. So nonetheless, preparation is the key. Piss poor planning, at the end of the day, will only set you for failure, and especially your family. So I think I beat this horse quite enough. I just want to again extend my thoughts and prayers to General Gray's family. Semper Fi, sir. We got the post, we got the watch now. We'll see you till Valhalla. And with that being said, folks, I think this is a good place to index. Thanks to those who commented on the show. We really appreciate your support. If you've been ruminating and really hurting and just going into a dark place, reach out to us, reach out to Military One Source, TRICARE, reach out to somebody. But at the end of the day, don't do it. Don't commit suicide. It's not worth it. You matter. Yes, times are shitty, but you'll get through this eventually. So that's it for today, folks. So we're going to go ahead and index. Aistmas, Daisuki. See you next week, folks. Bye-bye. Hurrah. Get some.